To today's live class. Thank you for joining the class. We will be starting in less than 2 minutes. I just want to add my students from my WhatsApp group to the live class and then we'll start. So just give me a minute. Okay. Now, let the show begin. Okay, so we are continuing with polygons. Polygons. So I'll use the first 1 to 2 minutes to welcome my students who will be joining the class. Okay, Eniola, nice to see you. You're welcome. So you're the first to join the class today. So today we are continuing with our topic polygons. In our previous class, Richmond, nice to see you. Welcome. Comfort, nice to see you. Edith, nice to see you. You are all welcome. Lawrence. Lawrence, is this your first time? Chief Rahim, is this your first time? Marcia, nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Chief Rahim, is this your first time? So we're continuing with our topic on polygons. So in our first class, we've seen what polygons are. Peter, nice to see you. I think, Peter, this is your first time. Ibrahim, nice to see you. Welcome. Cecilia, nice to see you. Welcome. You guys are all welcome. Okay, so back to what I was saying. I said that we were looking, in our last class, we looked at polygons. We saw what polygons are. We looked at the different types of polygons. We also saw how to identify regular polygons and irregular polygons. We looked at how to calculate interior angle of regular polygons, interior angles of irregular polygons. I think that's where we stopped in our last class. So in this class, we'll be going further to look at how to calculate exterior angles of a polygon. Exterior angles of a polygon. Exterior angles of a polygon. So if you have a polygon, there are angles that are interior angles, and we also have angles that are exterior angles. For example, if we have polygon in this form, So this is a polygon because it has 4 sides, right? Yeah, Ibrahim, you missed the last class. That's true. So this is a polygon because it has, sorry, this is a polygon because it has 4 sides, and we know that for an object to be called a polygon, it must have at least 3 sides. Okay, so now all these angles are interior angles of this polygon. All these angles are interior angles of this polygon. But apart from the interior angles of a polygon, sometimes you might be expected to calculate the exterior angle of a polygon. Okay, so you can see the pattern. If you go this way, you go this way, you go this way, you go this way. So these angles here are the exterior angles of this polygon. Okay, so it goes in a clockwise direction, or if you want, you can make it in an anti-clockwise direction. But in summary, the sum of exterior angles of a polygon is equal to 360 degrees. The sum of exterior angles of a polygon is equal to 360 degrees. Now, if we use this square as an example, you can see that if here is 90 degrees and you have a straight line like this, here is supposed to be 90 degrees, here is supposed to be 90 degrees, here is supposed to be 90 degrees, here is supposed to be 90 degrees. So when you sum these 4 exterior angles, they'll give you 360 degrees. So what we just did is we confirmed that the sum of exterior angles of a polygon is equal to 360 degrees. So now we are going to use that to solve some questions, okay, for other types of polygons that might not be rectangles or square. Is the network okay? Is the network okay today? Emmanuel Michael, have you been part of this class, or is today the first day you're joining us? Emmanuel Michael, is today the first day you're joining us? Okay, so now let's look at an example. Let's solve one question here. So before we do that, the sum of the exterior angles of a polygon equals 360 degrees. Daniel, you're welcome. The sum of the exterior angles of a polygon is equal to 360 degrees. Okay, so now we're going to use this understanding to solve some questions. Let's look at them. Okay, so example, find the value of x in Okay, so this is a polygon because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides and 5 angles. So you can see that the angles are following an anti-clockwise direction. So you cannot have one angle here and then you decide to make one angle here. They have to go in an anti-clockwise form. Okay, so if this angle is here, the next angle has to be here, the next angle has to be here, like this and like this. Okay, so we already know that. Humble, nice to see you. Welcome. Asanda, nice to see you. So we already know that the sum of exterior angles of a polygon is equal to 360 degrees. That means if we add each of these 5 angles, we're expected to have 360 degrees. Okay. So nobody needs to tell you that these are exterior angles because they are not found inside. So you don't need to be told to find this exterior angle. Once you see that all the angles are outside, you know that you are dealing with exterior angles of a polygon. Okay, so I'm going to wipe this top part so I can use that side to solve. So we know that x plus 57 degrees plus 60 degrees plus 65 degrees plus 40 degrees is equal to 360 degrees. Okay. So add these values and tell me what it is. Okay, Marcia said it's 158. Can someone confirm that? Marcia said it's 158. Can someone confirm that? Someone else said 222. Okay. Okay. So we need another confirmation from someone else. 57 plus 60 plus 65 plus 40. It seems to be more than 200. Because this two is 100, this two is more than 100. It seems to be more than 200. Anybody confirming it? Okay, let's see. 57 plus 60 is 117, right? 177, 182, 222. Okay. So we have x plus 222 degrees is equal to 360 degrees. So x is equal to 360 degrees minus 222 degrees. Therefore, the value of x is equal to 138, right? $138. Was that what Marcia was trying to calculate? Maybe you were trying to give us the final answer. So it's 138 degrees. So that becomes the value of this angle right here. 138 degrees, correct. Okay. So let's look at the next example. Let's look at the next example. Hope I can wipe this off. Okay. Okay, so you can be given a question like this. It seems complex, but it's quite easy. It's quite easy. As long as you are able to remember that the sum of angles, the sum of exterior angles of a polygon is equal to 360 degrees. So that's the most important thing. The sum of exterior angles of a polygon is equal. Sorry, I used X instead of Y. So let me just change here. I'm used to X, so I was just writing with X. You know, in mathematics, we're always using X, so I just subconsciously started writing with X. Thank you. Okay, now let's look at this. So we know that how many angles we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is what type of triangle? What type of polygon is this? What type of polygon is this? What type of polygon is this? Hexagon. Okay, hexagon, correct. So it's a hexagon. So we know that the sum of all the exterior angles of a polygon, no matter the type of polygon, so no matter the type of polygon, the sum of exterior angles is equal to 360 degrees. So it's not like the interior angles that the sum of interior angles change with the number of sides. For the exterior angle, the sum of the exterior angles remains the same. So let's start from here. So we have 2x minus 1 plus 6x plus 4 plus 4x plus 1 plus 7x minus 2 plus 8x plus 3 plus 3x minus 5. Let me wait to see if it will still be on the screen. Okay, so it's equal to 360 degrees. Okay, so now the next thing we need to do is sum all these values of x. So 2x plus 6x plus 4x plus 7x plus 8x plus 3x. What is it going to give us? What is it going to give us? What is it going to give us? $30x. So we have 30x. So next, minus 1 plus 4 plus 1 minus 2 plus 3 minus 5. What is it going to give us? What is it going to give us? 0. Correct. So plus 0 is equal to 360 degrees. So that means this is not important. So 30x is equal to 360 degrees. X is equal to 360 degrees over 30 degrees. 360 degrees over 30 degrees. Therefore, x is equal to 12 degrees. Okay. So if x is equal to 12 degrees, this angle, let's call this point A, point B, point C, point D, point E, point F. Okay. So point A, angle A is going to be how many degrees? External angle A is going to be how many degrees? Now we know that x is equal to 12. What will this angle be? (23 degrees), correct. So whatever we have as x, 2 times x gives us 2 times 12, which is 24. 24 minus 1 is 23. So that angle there is 23 degrees. If we look at here, we have 4x plus 1. X is equal to 12. So 4 times 12 is 48 plus 1. That means this angle here is 49 degrees. So you can help us to get every of the angles there. But that's not part of the question we are given. What we are given as question is find the value of x, which we have done. Okay. So I'm going to give you one question to try out before we go to the next topic. One question to try out before we go to the next topic. Still under polygons. Can we continue? Can we continue? Okay, the 0. Okay, let's look at it. Minus 1 plus 4 plus 1 minus 2 plus 3 minus 5. So we picked out all the numbers that don't have x. So we picked out all the numbers that don't have x, and then we brought them together. Minus 1 plus 4 gives you plus 3. Plus 3 plus 1 gives you plus 4. Plus 4 minus 2 gives you plus 2. Plus 2 plus 3 gives you plus 5. Plus 5 minus 5 gives you 0. So that's how we got 0. That's how we got 0. Okay, so now we can continue. Okay, so try this out before we go to the next topic. So find x. We have 5 minutes to get it done. 5 minutes before we continue. 5 minutes. So while you guys are doing that, is there anybody that just joined us for the first time today? Is there any person that just joined us for the first time today? So I can write down your name. Is anybody that just joined us for the first time? Okay, Richard, nice to have you. Hope you're from the WhatsApp group. Okay. Rahim, is this the first time you're joining us? Because I don't have your name on the list. Chief Rahim, is this the first time you're joining us? The Rahim I have on my list is Rahim Adamu. That's the one I have on my list. I don't have Chief Rahim on my list. So is today your first time? And please, if you have not contacted me on WhatsApp, so that okay, Richmond said 10. Doris, how are you today? Good evening. If you're here or you've been joining us but you've not contacted me on WhatsApp, please do that after the class. The reason is, once you contact me, I save your number on my email list, so it does not show as your name again. It shows as your. It does not show as your number. It shows as your name. So at the end of the month, all the people on the WhatsApp group that are still numbers will be removed. So if you did not contact me, although you've been coming to the class, if you did not contact me, your name will still be as a number. That means when my assistant is removing all the numbers, your number will be removed also. That's why you need to contact me after the live class, so I can change your number to a name by saving it. No problem, Ibrahim. So the reason I'm getting serious with it is, I'm just saying this while you guys are working on the question. The reason I'm getting serious with it is we are really committed to putting our best uh, as an academy, putting our best to spend our time, energy, money, because the class assistant is actually a paid staff, right? So she gets paid to do all the reminders she does on the platform. I spend my time, I spend my energy to do this for free. So if the people, okay, somebody has gotten 10 confidence. So if the people I'm doing it for are not appreciative, then I need to look out for those that are serious and then focus on them instead of just scattering my energy. Okay, so that's why I'm pushing out everyone that is not serious or committed. Probably some of them, they already know what we are learning, so they might not value it. The class is not for everybody. Okay, so how many persons have gotten the answer? Richard has gotten the answer. Confidence has gotten the answer. Humble has gotten the answer. Richmond has gotten the answer. Who else? Daniel, you said 0.2. Is that the answer you are trying to write? 0.2. Cecilia says x is equal to 10. Okay. So if you just joined us and today is your first time, please indicate that today is your first time of joining us. Okay, I think the time is up. So let's look at the correction so that we can continue. So just as we did in the first example, all these external values are equal to 360 degrees. So we can have 5x plus 50 degrees plus 2x plus 60 degrees plus 6x minus 10 degrees plus 50 degrees plus 11x minus 30 degrees is equal to 360 degrees. Okay. So 5x plus 2x gives us 7x plus 3x plus 6x gives us 13x plus 11x gives us 24x. 24x. Daniel said x is equal to 5. Let's see. So 24x. Then we look at the numbers. 50 plus 60 is 110, minus 10 is 100, plus 50 is 150, minus 30 is 120. So plus 120 degrees is equal to 360. So if you subtract, you're going to get 24x is equal to 240 degrees. If you divide both sides by 24, you get x is equal to 10 degrees. Okay, very good. You guys did a good job. Victoria, okay, Victoria, wow, nice to have you in the class. So I'm going to add you to the list of students. Please, at the end of the live class, send me a WhatsApp message so I can convert your number to a name. So by saving it, saving your name on my email is going to change from being a number to a name. Okay, so please contact me, Victoria, and every other person who has not contacted me. Okay, good. So now we are going to look at another type of polygon called concave polygon. All the polygons we've been considering are called convex polygon. Convex polygons. But we are going to look at concave polygons. So a concave polygon is a polygon that has one or more of its exterior angles as a one or more of its interior angles as an angle that is greater than 180 degrees. When we are learning about angle, when an angle is greater than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees, what is it called? When we learned about angles, an angle that is greater than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees, it's called what? Let's see who remembers. Nobody remember that? An angle that is greater than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. No. Do we still have students in this class? Or everybody has gone to bed? It's called a reflex angle. Reflex angle. An angle that is greater than 180 degrees but less than 360 degrees. So a concave polygon is a polygon that has one of, okay, good. A concave polygon is a polygon that has one of its interior angles has at least one of its interior angles as a reflex angle. Okay. Remember, a reflex angle is greater than 180 degrees but less than 360. Okay. So a polygon that has one of its interior angle as obtuse is greater than 90 but less than 180. So a concave polygon is a polygon that has at least one of its interior angles as a reflex angle. So whenever I see a polygon with one of its angles as a reflex angle, that polygon is called a concave polygon. Oman Emmanuel, nice to have you in the class. Is today your first time? Okay, so if you guys have written that, I'd like us to look at an example of such situation. Example of such situation. Poor network. Is it from my end? Is any other person experiencing poor network? Is any other person experiencing poor network? Please, let's confirm if we have to end the class. If you guys are not receiving the lecture clearly, then there might be no need to continue. Yes, are we having a poor network today? No. Benedict said no. Okay, good, good. So the person who said poor network, I think Cecilia is from your end. Okay, so let's look at an example. So if you have so now we are using letter C. I hope I don't write X. Okay. So we're expected to find this angle C. Angle C. Okay. So the first thing, remember, we have now gone back to interior angles of a polygon. So you cannot just say that sum of angles in this polygon now is 360. We did that when we are working with exterior angles. So now that we are working with an interior angle, we need to first know what type of polygon is this. How many angles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So since it is a 5-sided polygon, it is a pentagon. So from what we did on Monday, what is the sum of angles in a pentagon? What is the sum of interior angles of a pentagon? What is the sum of interior angles of a pentagon? (540 degrees), correct. That means when you add this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, and this angle, we should have 540 degrees. But it seems that there's no angle here, there's no angle here. It seems that we are missing angles. Are we missing any angle, or is there an angle there? Are we missing angles here, or do we know those angles? Doris, 5,040. I think you wanted to say 540. So are these angles missing, or do we know them? So what's the angle? What are the angles there? If they are not missing, what are the angles? 90 degrees. So So you might have a situation like this where you are not given these two angles. Always remember that that those are 90 degrees. So we know them. So we're expected to find this angle here. So since this angle looks more than 180 degrees, remember 180 degrees is a straight angle, but this angle looks more than 180 degrees. So since this polygon has one of its angles more than 180 degrees, it is a concave polygon. You can see it goes inside. So that's why it's called concave polygon. Okay? But you solve it just the way you solve every other polygon. So let's look at it. So we have C plus 30 degrees plus 45 degrees plus 90 degrees plus 90 degrees is equal to 360 degrees. It seems Marcia and Humboldt have already gotten the answers. Okay, let's try to catch up. So when you add these numbers together, what do you get? 30 plus 45 plus 90 plus 90, what do you get? $255 degrees. 90 plus 90. Okay, correct, 255 degrees. So we have C plus 255 degrees is equal to 360 degrees. Sorry, I'm not supposed to have 360. I was surprised. 540 degrees. 540 degrees. Okay. So now we have C is equal to 540 degrees minus 255 degrees. So 540 degrees minus 255 degrees gives us thanks. So 540 minus 255, that should give us 285 degrees. 285 degrees. So our value of C is equal to 285 degrees. Okay. How did you get 648? Sorry, 645. Okay, good. So 285 degrees. That gives us the answer to that question. Okay. So we're going to try another one. Then we have another classwork. That will bring us to the end of today's class. Hope we can continue. Okay, mistake. Okay. Let's continue. Okay. So let's solve for x. So we know that this, from the number of angles we have, we know that this is a pentagon. So you can see a concave polygon, it always forms something that looks like a cave, something, a depression. Okay. So when we add all the angles, we are supposed to have 540 degrees. So x plus 112 degrees plus 100 degrees plus 58 degrees plus 235 degrees is equal to, since it is a pentagon, 540 degrees. So when you add all these angles, what do you get to? Confidence. You're moving very fast. (505 degrees), okay? So x plus 505 degrees is equal to 540 degrees. X is equal to 540 minus 505 degrees. X is equal to 35 degrees. Okay, very good. So whenever you see a question like this, you should not be scared. Just the understanding of interior angles of a polygon will give you a way out to solve it. Here is 100. Here is 100. Oh, did I write? Or I think I'm hungry. I think I'm hungry. So that gives us the value of x to be 35 degrees. Okay. You guys have done very well up till this point. So I'll give you a classwork. Once we are done with that classwork, we are done for today's class. Hope we can continue. Let's continue. So this last question looks complicated, but it is not. It looks complicated, but it is not. It's very easy. Okay. Okay. So you guys should try to solve this question. Try to solve this question. So in this particular concave polygon, it has two reflex angles. So remember what I said, a concave polygon has at least one of its angles as a reflex angle. So at least means it can be more than one. Okay. So in this one, it has two. So you have 5 minutes to get the value of x. Okay, Emmanuel from WhatsApp group. Okay, nice to have you in the class. Cecilia, it seems your view is a little bit delayed, probably where you are watching from. I think we've made that correction some minutes ago. If you want to come to speed with what we are doing, leave the live class and then join again. Okay, somebody has already gotten an answer. 160. 165. Looking at this shape here, it tells you that this angle should not even be up to 90 degrees. If you look at the way it is. So I think you missed something somewhere. Somebody got, another person got 165. Probably the way I drew it is wrong. But also remember something. 150 here is an external angle. Hope you know that. So if you are going, 50 here is an external angle. So if you use 50 to calculate, you'll be wrong. Because first thing you need to do, you need to get this angle. That's the angle you use to calculate. You don't use 50, you use this angle. Applying sum of angles on a straight line. So if here is 50, what will this angle be? Doris still got 165. Okay. Benedict got 195. Yeah, it's a heptagon, correct. Three minutes more. Okay. Chidera got 40 degrees. Okay. That seems close. To me, it seems close, but I'm not sure if it is accurate. But it seems close. But you have 5, 5, 5. So I don't think you can have 40 degrees. I don't think. $85 degrees, Richmond. Okay. Another person, Humble, got 85 degrees. Okay, good. I don't know if it's correct, but it seems like it. Seems like it. Because that angle there should be less than 90 degrees. It shouldn't be up to 90 degrees. Okay, 1 minute more. One minute more. 40 seconds more. Chief Rahim said 85 degrees, okay? You guys are now coming to an agreement. 85 degrees, okay? Okay, I think the time is up. Let's look at it together. So, Let's look at it together. Okay, Marcia Green said 85 degrees. Okay, Confidence is confidently saying 75 degrees. He or she is disagreeing with the rest of the group. Confidence is disagreeing with the rest of you. Sandra said 80 degrees. Okay. Cecilia said 85 degrees. Okay, Confidence is now saying 85 degrees. Okay. If you cannot beat them, you join them. That's good. Okay, so let's look at it. So the first thing we know is we don't know this angle yet. So these are all exterior angles, but at this point, what we are given here is the exterior angle. So we don't know this angle, but we know that sum of angles on a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. So if this is 50 degrees, this has to be 130 degrees. So now we know the interior angle. The next thing we can do now is to add all the interior angles. So x plus 130 degrees. Wow, this matters. Plus 85 degrees plus 80 degrees plus 245 degrees plus 65 degrees plus 210 degrees is equal to, what's the sum of angles in a hexagon? In a heptagon, sorry. Sum of angles in a heptagon. $900, okay. So 900 degrees. So we have x plus. So when you add all these values, what do you get? 130 plus 80 is 210, 420, 665, 730, 815. So you have 815 degrees is equal to 900 degrees. Okay. So x is equal to 900 degrees plus 815 degrees. So that gives us correct. Okay. X is equal to 85 degrees. Good. Very good. Okay. So in today's class, we've looked at how to calculate exterior angle of a polygon. We saw that no matter the type of polygon, the sum of exterior angles of a polygon is equal to 360 degrees. And then we looked at concave polygons, which are polygons that have at least one of its interior angles as a reflex angle. Subtraction sign, thank you. So we looked at concave polygons and we've seen what concave polygons are, and then we have solved questions on it. Okay, so that brings us to the end of today's class and also to the end of the topic angles, triangles, and polygons. You are still free to search for more questions, and one of the reasons I want to move out most of the persons in the WhatsApp group so that on the interactive platform you guys can have the opportunities to interact, because from next month only the persons in the main WhatsApp group will be in the interactive group. So if we have any class that we've learned, if you come across any other question apart from the ones we considered in the class, you can bring it to the interactive group. So that's the reason. The reason for the interactive group is when we learn a topic, we will not be able to exhaust all the examples in 1 hour. So if we learn a particular topic and then on your own you go in search of more examples, if you come across any example that you cannot solve, you can bring it to the interactive group, and then you and other students can practice it. That was the aim of the interactive group, not what I've been seeing on the platform. Okay, so from next month, I think everything will be balanced. So that brings us to the end of this topic. You will be informed what the next topic will be. Remember, we are using this textbook. Okay, it's this textbook we're using. So I'll inform you what the next topic will be. So thank you guys for being here up till this point. Why don't I add the exterior angle? This one, okay, before we go. Yeah, remember we are calculating interior angle, so you cannot add the exterior angle to it. You have to get an interior angle at that point. So that's why we did not use 50. We know that from our previous lesson. If you've not watched our previous lesson, you can just go to the playlist. At the end of this class, I'm going to create a playlist on the YouTube channel. So that playlist is titled Angles, Triangles, and Polygons. So if you go to that playlist, you see the previous topics we've learned in this series. Okay, so the reason we use 130 is because at this point, from what we've learned before, this is an angle on a straight line. And if we know this angle to be 150, we can subtract it from 180 to get this interior angle. So that is what we did, okay? But you will understand it better if you go and watch it from the beginning. Thank you guys. See you in the next class. Have a wonderful evening. Bye. Adios.